Welcome to Let's Get Lit with your girl Pearl. So happy you're tuning in. In this episode, we're talking about cravings. Cravings, I actually love talking about this because I used to be a dietitian, if you didn't know, and I love talking about anything to do with nutrition, diet, the body, physiology, like understanding why certain things happen. And I'm just so excited to dive into this. So, this episode's for you if you're someone that has cravings, struggles with cravings, wants to understand more of your cravings, wants to overcome cravings, right? And so I got this question because I asked about, hey, what do you want me to talk about on my podcast? And a couple people gave me some answers. If you want to ever pitch me an idea about something you'd love to hear on the podcast, let me know. Just DM me on Instagram. So, this is going to be a shorter episode. We're going to talk about the two biggest things you can focus on if you want to reduce your cravings, okay? There is a little bit more to this, but I'm not going to go deep, deep, deep into it. But if you want more, let me know. So, two things I'm going to address is the first thing is the physical aspect of having cravings, and the second thing is the emotional slash mental aspect of having cravings, okay? Now, most of the time, it's the latter, right? But of course, it's so important to address the first thing I mentioned, which is the physical aspect. So, this is the idea that when you have a deficiency of some sort, your body will crave it. Our bodies are very smart, our bodies are very intuitive. We definitely know what's happening on a deep, deep level. But a lot of the time in society, and as we get conditioned and as we have different lifestyles, things shift. But our body actually knows. I believe our body's the way, our body's the key, and doing a lot of the things that optimize your body and start to connect more with your body is going to be a really big part of you understanding your body and your cravings and a lot of other things that are going to support you in life. But we're talking about cravings. So, with cravings, it's how can you make sure you're fully nourished so you are not craving a lot of different things, right? So, for example, if you are lacking in fruits or vegetables or whatever it is, your body's gonna want that, it's gonna crave that. Now, if you experience high cravings of sugary things, of sweets, people say, oh, I have a sweet tooth. That's literally not a thing. You cannot have a sweet tooth. It just means that you like to eat sweet things, and maybe you have created this potential dependency on eating more sweet things because of the way it makes you feel, because of the instant dopamine you get, because of the physiology that has now become a pattern in your body. So now your body physically craves the thing, right? And also another reason people have cravings for sweeter things is because there's a dysbiosis. There's a dysregulation in the bacteria in your body, in your intestine specifically, right? So if you have an imbalance of bacteria in your body, you're going to experience that you will feel more craving towards sweets or sugary things, right? And so this is really important. I actually have a free video that I talk about the gut health. So if you want that, just DM me and say, hey, I'd love to watch your gut health video. So that's the first thing. So we have to get that shit in balance, right? So we got to make sure you're taking care of yourself, you're exercising, you're eating well, you're eating more fiber, you are reducing your intake of processed foods and highly sugar things, and you are creating more natural, more healthier ways of accessing some of these things that your body might crave, right? Okay, so that's like the short part about that. I can go in more depth, but I definitely do go in more depth in my gut health video. So please watch that. And the second part is the emotional slash mental piece, okay? So this is the piece where oftentimes we can use cravings or food as a way to soothe ourselves, right? And over time, your body learns like, oh, when I feel sad, I eat ice cream and I feel better. So your body will start to create that pattern and crave a certain thing based on how you're feeling, right? And so this could be the case, not saying it's the case for everyone, but it could be the case for you if you notice you still have that craving because you still feel like, oh, even though I've eaten well, or even though I've had a good meals today, or oh, even though I feel like I'm taking care of myself, etc., I still crave this thing. Your body doesn't necessarily crave the food itself, it craves the feeling it's going to get from that thing. Does that make sense? So, if you're feeling X and you usually eat Y, your body wants to eat Y because it thinks it's gonna feel better, right? a lot of the time our subconscious mind only operates in I want to go towards pleasure and go away from pain. Like that's one of the most basic neuroscience foundational facts. Lean towards pleasure or go away from pain. Okay, so your body has now learned that, oh, it feels good when I eat this when I'm sad. I want to feel less sad, so I'm gonna eat this to feel less sad. So the thing is, here there is actually an emotional need that needs to be met. And this is where I'm gonna get a little bit deeper into like the psychological, the somatic things that I focus on with my clients. I had a client who had a lot of cravings and it actually rooted to a deeper thing. So once we addressed a deeper thing, she actually no longer had cravings. And she was like, "What the heck?" She's like, "That was amazing." She's like, I've ate chocolate every day for years, but now I don't feel like I have to because I've addressed this deeper need, right?" So there is an emotional aspect of it. And so it's like, how are we addressing our emotions? Are we using tools that support us? Are we using healthier alternatives to actually address the emotions we're feeling, right? Or are we just neglecting our emotions, doing other things, distracting ourselves, eating our feelings, all the things, and we're not actually addressing what's happening underneath, right? So instead of being like, oh, I'm sad, I'm just gonna eat some ice cream, for example, oh, I'm sad. Let me sit with this. Let me see what's happening here. Why am I sad? What's happening? What is underneath this? What do I need in this moment? How do I want to feel instead? How can I create that from within? That's one of the biggest things I support my clients with. How can I create that from within so I don't go without? Because when you start to go without, that's when you start to lean on drugs, alcohol, and sweets, and ice cream, and sex, whatever your vice is, right? And there's no judgment here. It's we all have our shit, and we all get to learn how to have healthier coping mechanisms. So it's, oh, I'm feeling sad. How can I feel better? And access that relief and that shift through understanding how the body processes emotions. How can I create space and just hold the space to feel this feeling and be okay with feeling the feeling and understanding what I need and how can I give myself that on a regular basis so I don't have this emotional gap so I can then fulfill that on my own without relying on this and that and this and that. And then you start to create a new pattern in the body where the body's like, oh, I'm feeling this, but actually, I know I can support myself and I have the tools and I know how to process my emotions and do the somatic work and I have the support so I can feel better. So your body now knows that you can do this from within. And this is the work that I've done for years and years. Like, how can I create a safe place in my body to process all the emotions so I no longer like people. Well, someone asked me if I had cravings the other day. I'm like, no, I don't. I actually don't have cravings because I have broken the pattern of craving things. My body doesn't need to crave anything because it knows a lot of things that I get come from within, right? And so that's another piece of the craving. So I want you to ask yourself, oh, what is the real thing you're looking for? What is the need underneath that, right? Because if you feel like even though you have other alternatives, like even though you went for a walk, or even though you tried journaling, or even though you had a healthier way of trying to deal with the craving, which is beautiful, you felt like, oh, but I still crave that thing. That's because your body still wants to feel a certain relief or release or still wants something. So, what is that? And how can you create that from within? How can you let your emotion move through you? How can you alchemize your emotions? Because really, the body wants to get rid of and let go of. So, how can we allow that to happen? Right? And those are the main things that I think about when it comes to cravings. This is a much, much deeper conversation, as you can see. Right? And so, to give you some practical tools and practical tips to support you with cravings, here's what I need you to do. First of all, I need you to make sure you're eating enough high fiber foods. You're eating enough protein because also when you don't eat enough protein, you are more likely to crave sweeter things, right? Eat enough protein so you're satiated, eat enough high fiber foods, making sure you're getting all your nutrients in, right? Eating vegetables, eating fruit, eating the things that give you what you need, right? And there's a whole plethora of things you can eat, but I always keep it simple. Eat the rainbow, eat enough protein. Okay, that's what I always think of when I'm eating. Am I eating the rainbow? Am I getting enough protein? And those two things are really going to support you, right? Make sure you take vitamin D. That's such a key nutrient that most people miss, right? And then there's obviously other nuances, but it's very unique to your individual person. So I'm just going to stop there. And then other things that you need to do is, okay, make sure you're addressing your emotional needs. create new patterns around healthier ways of coping. Okay? How can you create something else instead of X, ice cream or drugs or whatever it is? How can you still get the desired result that your body is craving through something else, right? So let's create healthier outlets, healthier ways to cope with whatever you're navigating. And once you start to create and break that pattern and create a new pattern, you will notice you will have less and less cravings, right? And you address the underlying need whenever you feel emotions, even elevated emotions too, right? There's no good or bad emotions in my books, but the higher vibrational emotions and the lower vibrational emotions, right? So these are things you can do on a daily basis, making sure you're properly nourished, making sure you're meeting all your needs nutritionally, balancing your gut health. All right, watch my gut health video, message me for that because I have a lot more tips in there. And then the emotional aspect of it. Okay, how am I meeting my emotional needs and supporting myself through this so I can create better outlines, better outcomes, better outlets through that process. So hopefully that made sense. I would love to hear any aha moments, any things that came through, anything you're like, oh my gosh, that was so great. Thank you for sharing that. Please DM me and message me about anything that comes through whenever you listen to any of the episodes. I'm so glad you were here. If you haven't heard yet, we are doing a giveaway for the month of November. So we are giving away some epic things. I haven't decided yet. We're going to decide in the next couple days. And we're going to be having three giveaway winners. Details will be below as well. All you have to do to enter is to share an episode to your Instagram and tag me at PearlCC. And then you can also enter by giving me a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening to, and you will get 5 entries towards the giveaway. At the end of the month, I'm going to be drawing 3 winners to win some epic shit. And I'm just so excited to be back on the podcast and be back to connect with my community and to be sharing my knowledge and wisdom again. And I'm just so grateful. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Please enter the giveaway. You might win some epic shit. Let's go. Thank you for being here, and I stay tuned for the next episode. That's going to be juicy as always. And if you have any ideas and things you want me to talk about, let me know. And if it feels aligned, I will talk about them if I believe that I have the lived experience and the knowledge to talk on that subject. All right. Thank you for your time and energy today. Send you so much love, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.